All right, so I saw this yesterday when I was watching the basketball game, and look, man, I try not to get too caught up anymore and just bashing all this shit, but this is ridiculous. The New Orleans Pelicans, who are already a laughing stock, they're about to lose the best player the franchise has ever had, and now they're hiring WNBA former WNBA players to, I'm not even gonna say stars, because in order to be a star in anything, your sport has to be popular. But they hired this former WNBA player to to a front office position, and I'm like, why? Because if you look at the NBA and you look at the WNBA, it's two different sports. They don't have the same. They don't work the same, And how the fuck is a WNBA player gonna develop NBA talent? Like how, how is this gonna fucking work? And this is not a knock against Swin Cash, man. Look, if I'm a middling basketball talent in the professional market, if I'm the least desirable, I'm gonna try to maximize every opportunity I possibly can, and this is a slam dunk opportunity for her. But if I'm a New Orleans Pelicans fan and I'm looking at this move, I'm just questioning everything about it. WNBA players, for all intents and purposes, are pretty much semi-pro. Is a semi-pro basketball league with semi-pro basketball players. And this is my problem with it. I mean, she doesn't know what it's like to even play at the NBA level. How the hell is she? How is she going to make moves at the NBA level? And how is she going to? And how it like? Look, if this was just basketball operations, I wouldn't have as much of a problem with it if they also didn't throw player development in there. Because how is she going to develop NBA talent when she's never played in the NBA? The best player in the WNBA is not even a top 200 to 250th like fucking NBA player. Like I'm serious, man. It's two different sports. Like if I'm an NBA player going to the New Orleans Pelicans, if I'm Zion Williamson and a woman who, even me in college, she was never as talented as I was at any point in her career than me as a college student. Why the fuck would I listen to her? Like, and it's not even like she's a vet when it comes to the front office gig in the NBA. This is her. She just got signed. Why would I want to listen? This is a joke. This is a joke. This has to be a fucking joke. I play a lot of video games. So when I played Madden, and I would do a franchise, or connected franchise, or whatever you call it. Now, when I would play a franchise and I would go to the owners list, there are a lot of female owners in it, and I'm starting to notice this trend where there are a lot of female owners in the NFL. There's starting to be a shitload of female owners in the NBA. Like Jeannie is one. The chick that runs the Pelicans is one, and I believe she also runs the Saints. And I don't know if the Seahawks, Paul Allen, when I believe he died, I I think his sister is now the owner of that team, and it was another team in the NBA. I'm trying to think of who it was. I can't think of it right now. But I'm starting to see an upswing. Oh, it was the Clippers. I think they were trying to when they took it from Donald Sterling, they were trying to give it to his wife, and I thought it was the funniest shit ever. I'm like, okay, that's a interesting choice, and this is why the Lakers are a fucking mess. This is why the Titans can't seem to get their shit together. Like, these teams will never win. I don't look, man. They will never win as long as they're being spearheaded by female leadership. They will never win because none of those women knows what it takes to build a championship winning team. Because I'm gonna tell you, man, like when it comes to free agency, their first thought is we need to sign the best player in free agency, not what player is being able to make judgment calls on which players to sign based on what your team is trying to do. I think there's a lot that goes into this that's gonna be questionable, and I'm gonna keep track of the fucking Pelicans because I need to see how this goes. Like I was already a little weirded out by the whole Becky Hammond situation in San Antonio because I'm like, how the fuck are you gonna hire this chick as a coach when she's never even played at she's never played at our level before, but she's supposed to teach me what it's like to be an NBA player? Like, are you fucking retarded? And this is why the Spurs is gonna struggle because they're asinine decisions that they seem to be making year after year. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this and then I'm gonna try not to laugh too much. WNBA icon Swin is joining the New Orleans Pelicans front office, according to a report from ESPN. The network reported Monday morning that Cash, a three-time WNBA champion and four-time All-Star, which means absolutely nothing. Like, cataloging her accomplishments in the WNBA is not good enough for her to fucking have a front office position in the NBA. Like, now, if they made her... I can't even remember the team she played for. But if they made her a GM for a WNBA team, that's different. That's fucking different. I have no problem with it because she's played the sport, so she knows what it takes. She's never played NBA basketball. Come on, man. This is a laughing stock. Will be named vice president of basketball operations and team development. Oh my god! If I'm a Pelicans fan, if I'm a Pelicans player, I'm looking at this move like, ugh. Like this is going to be one of the weirdest roller coasters I've ever been a part of in my career, or me being a fan of this team. Like, it's from both sides. It's going to be a weird ride for the Pelicans, man. The Pelicans. For the Pelicans under David Griffin, who was hired in April. The Pelicans had not announced the move as of Monday morning. Cash 39 won 2 NCAA championships at UConn in the early 2000s before being selected number 2 overall by the Detroit Shock. She played for Detroit. All right. I don't know if I remember that. I'm just saying. No, it was the New York Liberty. That's where I remember her from. But back to this. In 2002, she went on to play with 4 other WNBA teams and win 2 Olympic gold medals with the United States before retiring in 2016. I really want to know this. Do they play basketball in other countries, like competitively, female basketball? Like, because I don't hear too many female basketball leagues internationally. And I'm not saying they don't exist. They just don't get the coverage. So I'm assuming they're not very good. But let's get back to this. And it has to be a telltale sign that they're signing these females to come overseas to play for their teams. So it's obviously something there. 2 gold medals. Like, it's supposed to mean something. No, yeah, 2 gold medals. Like, it's supposed to mean something, and it doesn't. But before retiring in 2016, following the conclusion of her playing career, Cash then joined the New York Liberty as their director of franchise development. See, and I don't have a problem with that because she's played in the WNBA. Now, if she was the first woman ever to play in the NBA and play for like 10 years, and I'm not saying have a successful career, but if she was somewhat serviceable as an NBA player, then I wouldn't have a problem with her going into the front office or being a coach or whatever. I wouldn't have a problem with it. But she has no experience whatsoever. Like, you're talking about men who you would never be stronger, faster, more physical, better shooters than. Like, you're talking about these guys, and you're supposed to tell these guys how to do their job. Okay. She has since worked as a television analyst for multiple networks. That's supposed to be good enough criteria for you to, cause for you to get hired at such a high position. This is why the Pelicans are going to suck, man. They're going to suck for a very long time. They're just making bad choice after bad choice. ESPN reported that Cash will assist in scouting and player development for the Pelicans, who hold the number one pick in the upcoming NBA draft. And let me guess who she wants to take with that number one pick. Zion. You can't miss with Zion. It's not very hard. It's not very hard to do something like that when you have a can't miss player and you got the number one pick. Why do they have the number one pick? Maybe it's because their front office sucks. Maybe it's because their facility sucks. Maybe it's because they don't have the best, player development. This does not make it better. How is Swin Cash making this situation better? This is gonna be a train wreck, man. This is gonna be like a fucking a 10-car pileup on a very busy expressway. This is gonna be very bad. This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. All right, and that's about it. That's all they got to say about the situation. Is that she's being hired. Let's talk to let's tell you what her bullshit credentials are. Like they're supposed to hold some significance to the NBA game, and yeah, the Pelicans are in for it, man. All right, that's about it. I'm done.